years Department of Energy fans here.
I love it. All right.
What is the Department of Energy?
We have 17 national laboratories, 40,000 scientists, all trying to solve the biggest problems of our time. It is the solutions department, and now we are deploying clean energy.
I'll tell you what, you have, You've got a nice energy.
Hey.
Oh! Saving it. Doing this piece that was on in the second act, I went to the state capitol in Michigan, and I noticed your portrait. And I'm a Michigander. I wasn't necessarily living in Michigan when you were the governor, but I love your portrait, and it's here. And there's so many cool things here. There's a wind turbine. Your hand is on a globe. Many Michiganders didn't even know that there's other countries in the world.
Stop.
I think there's an electrical car in
Yeah,
that,
there's
right?
an electric vehicle. Yeah, it was the Chevy Volt, the first electric vehicle to come off the line. Look at they know.
I was struck that might have been a little bit ahead of its time.
Oh, you are so smart.
Do you see why they put me at this desk?
Obvious. It's obvious.
But this is Michigan. This is gas-guzzling Michigan. Did that ruffle some feathers?
Well, let me just say that when you remember when the auto industry went bankrupt?
Yes.
And that was in a 2008 Great Recession,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So it was the same time that Obama and Biden were elected. They said, we're going to help to save the American auto industry, but we also want it to move into vehicle 2.0, which is the electric vehicle.
Right,
and so they provided a bunch of incentives for battery companies to come to Michigan. And it's true, we were a little bit ahead of our time. We put the cart of supply before the horse of demand, if you will.
Yes.
But it's all smoothed out now, and electric vehicles are now 10% of the vehicle market.
Is it perfect? Yeah?
Yeah.
It feels like electric, sorry to be the bummer, it feels like EV has slowed down a little bit.
Well, a little bit.
What are some of the challenges you're facing?
We've sold 4 million EVs since the start of this administration, which is more than all EVs ever sold before.
Right.
And the hiccup, well, first of all, I think there's been a lot of talking down of electric vehicles, unfortunately. I think once we get past November, we'll see, I think, more positivity because J.D. Powers, they do a survey of, like, who wants to buy. I mean, people who have electric vehicles, they will never go back. And people who don't have electric vehicles, if they're thinking about switching and they want to save money on gasoline, they're looking at it. And because of the Inflation Reduction Act, one of the laws that was passed, that provides incentives for consumers to buy electric vehicles. So you can get $7,500 off the dealer to purchase one. So we're seeing, year over year, quarter over quarter increases, and that's good. And we've got electric vehicle charging stations. As of today, here's news: 200,000 public charging stations across the country.
Saved it for the Daily Show.
Yes.
Well, that's one thing that fascinates me about EV. I mean, as an American who drives a car, we just are so used to, I'll drive till it's empty and then I'll fill up somewhere. That's not what it's like necessarily with EV. Do we have to rethink our mindset a little bit?
Well, I think, first of all, batteries...
Is that something that the Department of Energy focuses on?
We're
or is that
totally
Department of Transportation?
Well,
I get my departments mixed up.
This is so smart because we have a joint office with the Department of Transportation on this. So, but the bottom line is the batteries for electric vehicles are making the vehicles go a lot longer. So you can go 300 plus miles on a charge. And to fill up your average sedan, it costs about $48 as average, right? To $3.17 per gallon. If you charge you may charge at home if you have a garage. It costs you about $16. So the difference between 48 and 16, and if you're filling up every week, that's a good amount of money that you're saving. And yet you have to plan to find an electric charging station. But now that there's 200,000 of them, with a goal of getting to 500,000 by 2030, and it's most people charge at home.
I hate to bring this up because it's petty, but I have this desk, and it's a responsibility. My electric toothbrush needs to be charged more frequently, more often. But let's get into batteries. Americans love cheap shit, so all these batteries are being made in China? No. Well, let's talk about that.
They are not. We are bringing... This is the whole thing. Oh, you guys, this is such a great story.
I know. Well, this stupid audience has no clue what we're talking about, but I know. Explain to them.
So yes, batteries for electric vehicles and the stuff that goes into the batteries has been like
battery juice.
The battery juice, the anode, the cathode, the separator material, all of that has been built in China. Much of it, right? They cornered the market on if they had a strategic plan to do it. We allowed it to happen. We just watched until this administration came in. And they said, no, we're going to bring manufacturing back to this country. We're going to make it irresistible to invest in America. As a result, since the start of this administration, 450 EV assembly and battery companies have announced they're opening up in America. 450.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
You're supposed to be like, wow.
No, I mean, I drive gas, and you know what? I'm a bad person.
No, you're not.
But I do want to ask you, when I am ordering a bunch of stuff from Amazon, and then it says, hey, do you want to get this a day later and just use one box? I click yes. Am I a hero?
You are clearly a hero.
Renewable energy. I mean, some of the pushback is, hey, a wind turbine is cool when it's windy. Hey, solar panels are great when it's sunny out, but that's not always the case. Is that a dumb pushback on renewable energy?
Let's just say they may not be aware that you can combine that kind of energy with these big utility scale batteries that have 10 hours, sometimes much longer storage, so that it basically makes renewable energy like baseload power, clean power. And these batteries give the opportunity for everybody to use energy all the time, and that's why we're seeing so much deployment of clean energy across the country. Can I just give you a quick stat on this?
Yeah, please. I love stats.
So and you should feel really great about this, America. Because of the incentives in these laws that the president passed, developers of clean energy have been going gangbusters. This year, just in 2024, we will add 30 Hoover Dams worth of clean power to our electric grid. 30 Hoover Dams. That's a record amount.
I'll tell you what. She came with numbers. She came with numbers. Can I plug my electronic toothbrush into one of those huge industrial... No. Winter's coming.
Yes.
You are a Michigander. I'm a Michigander. We both know winter's coming to kill us. Heating a home. You know, maybe it's not always first thing everyone talks about on television, but it's something to be taken very seriously. I'm hearing heat pumps. I'm hearing heat pumps don't work when it's actually freezing. What is a heat pump? I don't get to talk with the Secretary of Energy very often. What is a heat pump? Should more Americans be doing heat pumps? Is there a tax credit for heat pumps?
Yes.
Tell me everything about heat pumps, and goddammit, finish with some numbers.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to do numbers.
Well, first of all, the heat pump basically transfers warm or cold energy to where you want it to be, right? And so it not just heats your home in the winter, it cools your home in the summer. So it's both a heater and a cooler.
Shitty name.
I know, right?
Heat and cool pumps, yes.
It is so true.
We can work on that,
But they are outselling your basic HVAC system in America now for a couple of years going, because people are understanding how great heat pumps are. And yes, they do work in the cold. And yes, there are tax rebates right now. We're talking to you in New York. Many states like New York have developed a rebate system. You can get a rebate for the heat pump that you purchase. Or if you're not in one of those states, you can get a 30% tax credit for a heat pump. This would be the time to do it. These incentives are for not just heat pumps, but honestly for insulation, for solar panels, for stuff that makes your house button down and running on clean energy.
Well, this is something that I'm afraid to ask, but if administrations change, and when they do change, does everything you've been working on go bye-bye too? Is it like the energy in my electronic toothbrush? It just doesn't seem to make it? Do things stick around?
The administration will change, and so it will depend on who's elected, right?
Right.
But let me just say this, that the incentives that were embedded in Biden-Harris industrial strategy, I'll just say, those incentives are working all across America, in every pocket, in red communities, in blue communities. Honestly, 60% of the funding, all those factories I talked about, just in the clean energy space, there's been 900 factories. That includes wind and solar as well as batteries, et cetera. 900 factories. About 60 or even more percent of the investments have gone to red states and red districts. It would be political malpractice, really, to undo that. When your community, especially a community that previously had a factory, and the factory was gone, and now you're getting a whole new opportunity, that would be a bad move to undo it.
I'm sure Trump would take care of the liberal cities and states of this country. AI.
Yes.
You know, I'm not sure where I stand. Actually, I know where I stand. I don't think we need it or want it. I think it's here to stay. A lot of people I work with love making Mount Rushmore have boobs on it through AI. But it uses a shitload of energy.
It does.
What is our energy strategy with AI? Is this where nuclear's coming in?
Yeah, it is. I mean, first of all, many of the companies that are building these data centers, like Google and Meta.
So it's a
and all
data
of that.
center, that's what it's called. That's the AI data center.
Well, there's data centers that are specifically directed toward AI, training the AI models. Those companies are largely have promised to their shareholders that they want to operate on 100% clean electricity.
Okay.
So our message to them is, if you get a data center coming in which uses a lot of power, don't make everyday citizens pay for that power.
Okay.
Bring your power with you. BYOP is what we're calling
I like
it.
that. Okay.
And so, but make it clean. And so
It's like bringing your own charger over to a friend's house.
there you go. So we think we can do it.
Sorry, continue. Sorry. Yes.
No. We think we can. It's anticipated that you'll see an uptick, obviously, in demand. We want these data centers built in the United States for economic reasons, but also because of national security reasons. So we would like them to be built in the United States. We can provide the power. As I mentioned, we're putting so much power on the grid right now. If they are willing to do these small modular nuclear reactors or create additional nuclear power, it provides clean baseload power. Why are you giving me that look?
Nuclear.
You just don't like it, huh?
You know, there's a phrase, going nuclear. It's not a positive phrase. Is this really, are we moving towards nuclear?
Well, we have nuclear now. We have 94 reactors in the United States. Nuclear provides 20% of our clean power. It's a clean baseload power. So nuclear is good if we can figure out the waste issue, because it does provide waste, right?
Right.
And so we have a whole process going on in this administration called consent-based siting. There are some communities who are willing to raise their hand and say, we will take on that waste for some sort of compensation to be able to do that. So, but that issue, which is an important issue, is solvable. And nuclear helps to solve the bigger issue, which is energy creation.
As a regular Joe, can I just encourage everyone to take the nuclear stuff very carefully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay.
And just to give you some comfort, in the United States, our Nuclear Regulatory Commission, we are the gold standard of nuclear safety in this country.
Okay.
And it takes a while to get something licensed as a result, and it should. So so we are doing it very carefully.
Go nice and slow. Double check. Check again. Hey, did we check that? Let's check it again. Last thing, you've been very generous with your time with us. I know you're very busy. What can the average American do to improve their carbon footprint, use less energy? Is there something that you would advise us?
Take advantage of all of these rebates and tax credits. Put solar panels on your roof if you've got. Get a heat pump if you have a home. If you are thinking about switching out your car, think about trying out an electric vehicle. There's so many technologies that are available now at a discount to be able to, become more energy efficient and improve your carbon footprint.
Thank you for coming here today. We appreciate it very much. Energy